potential Heisman winner and maybe a national championship. But yeah, last year, just what was supposed to be the strongest part of his game, right? His arm strength. And we saw him show off that arm strength in his freshman year, right? Where he was one of the best deep ball throwers in the country. He just wasn't last year. And, again, there's a lot of reasons. It could be the injury, it could be the rustiness. But one thing's for sure, he had the weapons, right?
Yeah. We should have not gone 4-8, in my opinion. um, are you willing to give an early prediction, or is it too early to give a prediction? I'll bring you back on the show. I'm not closing the show, but I'm just asking, are you willing to give an early record prediction based on what you've seen in spring practice week 1?
No, I would love to. Believe me, I know content's king, and I want to give you some content. I'll tell you why. We just don't know who this quarterback 1 is going to be, and I think that matters. True. Look, I will give you my 2 cents because I know you brought me on for a reason, for my insight. And Tramel Jones, I do think, is the better deep ball thrower, obviously a better runner too than Aaron Philo. But is that enough to win him the job? I mean, when you have coaching ties, right? Aaron Philo came with the offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, from Georgia Tech. That just holds so much weight, right? And when you have coaching ties, obviously it's going to be a different playbook than it was with Georgia Tech, just because it's a different head coach, right? John Summerall. But they probably brought Philo in for a reason, not to sit on the bench. But again, I do slightly like Tramel Jones better in terms of what I've seen so far. So there's a lot of questions to be made. And also, Dallas Wilson, if he doesn't play this season, and again, I was talking about how much depth this wide receiver room has, you still are without Dallas Wilson. Dallas Wilson makes this team so much better because then your wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4s just become way more explosive. So,
I'm a TJ advocate. I like Tramel Jones. I even like Tramel Jones when DJ Lagway was here. Gators SI reporter and co-host of the Swamp Cast with me. Dylan can tell you I was harping for TJ to be in there all season last year because I didn't like, from week 1 to 3, I didn't like the way DJ was playing. And I was like, why doesn't Napier pull out DJ and put TJ in there? Because I believe the kid can play.
Yeah, and another factor that I actually forgot to mention, so I'll mention it now, is that, Aaron Philo does have the more in-game experience. So that could be a huge factor too. And yes, it's not the SEC, but the ACC, at least last year was really good. So that could be another factor. But again, his ties to Buster Faulkner might be enough for him to win the battle. But it'll be up to John Summerall at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens.
I know Coach Faulkner has mentioned that he adapts according to his players. But could we see a version of the spread with this team, or is it just going to be depending on the team that we face, do you believe?
Yeah, that honestly I have no answer to, because this team has nothing to do with last year's team.
Correct.
Yes, Vernell Brown, Dallas Wilson, Jaden Baugh were all on the field last year, but this is a completely new offense. And John Summerall strikes me as the type of person that is going to blow it up, right? He doesn't want anything to do with last year because he's the type of guy that steps up to the podium and says, I'm a winner, right? Winners win, and I'm going to win. He said that. And when somebody like that says those things, he doesn't want to compare himself to anyone. We go back to you asking me about Urban Meyer, right? He would love to compare himself to Urban Meyer. That means he gets to win national championships and produce Heisman winners.